non-food traders in the food markets because of overcrowding. Secondly, we said that the market women who had stayed in the market for 2 months can now go home and come back. Then we said public transport will resume after proper preparation. And by public transport, we meant buses and minibuses and taxis. But we said that each one of those would carry half load, would carry 50% of the people they should normally carry. But we recommended that, given the experience we have had and people are having in other parts of the world, it seems the bicycle is the best thing. Both for your health, when you are cycling, it's good, but also for keeping away from crowding with other people. Then we also talked of the borders and the borders and the tukutukus. We said those for now should not carry passengers. They can continue carrying cargo. Because the biggest element in all these things we are relaxing is where you can keep social distance, where you can leave a gap of 4 meters between one person and another person. This is what is running in everything. This is the strategy. Part of the strategy is distance. The activities can resume provided the distance can be maintained. Then we talked about, but we said when public transport resumes, certain border districts will not be allowed for now. Because if you allow public transport, people can easily come from the neighboring countries and then jump onto our public transport systems, and you find somebody is already in Kampala. And that will create a big problem for us. Now, those border districts are 40, Amuru, Kitugum, Lamuo, Isingiro, Ntungamo, Rubirizi, Chotera, Rakai, Busia, Tororo, Burisa, Hoima, Kagadi, Chikube, Bududa, Manafa, Namsindwa, Amdat, Kabong, Karenga, Moroto, Buko, Bundubujo, Kasese, Ntoroko, Arua, Ajumani, Koboko, Maracha, Moyo, Nebi, Pakwa, Chiumbe, Zombo, Kaware, Kanungu, Chisoro, Rubanda, Ruchiga, Rukunjiri. Here, the public buses, public means of transport will not be allowed for the next 21 days. Why? We fear that if they are allowed, people can infiltrate from the neighboring countries and jump on these buses, and we find they are in the center of the country. And you remember our defense against infiltration from the neighboring countries is our LOCs, our village councils. But village councils cannot track somebody who is moving in a vehicle. the village councils can track somebody who is moving on foot. They say, who are you? And if he's on a bicycle, they can also see him and say, who are you? But if he's in a bus, where will you? He can come and hide somewhere and jump on a bus, you will not get him. So it will interfere with our security system. Let's go cautiously and see. These are 40 districts out of 135. So that means 95 we shall open public transport in 95. That's big enough. Then we can see how is the situation. Then once we are sure, we move on. Then we also said the bars, the nightclubs, the gyms, the saunas, public swimming pools and hair salons, those ones cannot open for now. What is the main reason? There's no way you can keep social distance when you are working on my absent hair. For me, I don't have hair to work on. But even if I had, if you try to work on it, then how will you keep the distance? Then these nightclubs are opposite of social distancing. Because night clubbing is totally the opposite of distancing. Gyms, you know, you people, I showed you my technique of isolated gym in your own room. I was able to show you, that's how I keep fit. And that is a gym which doesn't close. You cannot go there and say, the time is finished, they have closed. No. When I come home at 11, I found Mom already, I just run in the room and do my push-ups. So let's have in-house gyms. Let's forget about these communal gyms. Saunas, all those will not open because they cannot keep the social distance. So all those, with the education, then we said, with the education institutions, we are going to open for the finalists, for the P7s, for the S4s, for the S6s, for the undergraduate finalists, for the postgraduate finalists, for the tertiary institutions finalists. Those will open. Hotels and food restaurants. We said those could open, provided, again, they observe the social distance. We said private cars could start being used, provided, again, they observe the distance by having only not more than 3 people inside one car. So these are the relaxation measures we are intending to allow. The question is, when do they start? So what I came to answer here tonight with my team is the when. Now, for the other measures, the shops, those ones, let them start on the 26th of May. So that we use this 1 week between now and that time to prepare properly. Because you remember, apart from social distancing, tonsemberera, The other safeguard in this whole, and then the other measures, washing our hands, not touching your face or your nose or your mouth, all those measures. The big measure of safety is putting on masks. Putting on masks, the right masks. So let's use this one week between now and the 26th to explain and to prepare to give masks. Those who can get masks on their own, we don't mind, provided they are the right quality. You will be told by the Minister of Health, they will tell you which are the right quality. They will tell you, even if they are made by our people, our local, our wananchi, they will tell you which are the right type. The ones which are made in the factory, those ones are already checked by the National Bureau of Standards. So this 1 week will be used to prepare this so that everybody, when it goes out on the 26th, the opening of these activities, everybody has got a mask. And this mask, you should put it on all the time when you are in public. So all those will happen from the 26th. Will be relaxed on the 26th and onwards. That is for the shops, the hotels, and so on. Now, for the public transport, that one they should be open in the 95 districts. The other districts which are not near the border should be relaxed on the 4th of June, 2 weeks from now, so that during this time, the Prime Minister, the Minister of Health, the Minister of Transport have time to discuss with the transporters and make sure that everything is in order. So the 4th of June, that is now for the public transport. The education institutions, again, they will use these 2 weeks to prepare, and by the 4th of June, they will tell you, they will put out their action plan, how things will move. Now, that one deals with the opening of the shops and the other sites. It deals with public transport and deals with the educational institutions. Now, for the border districts, which we said, please, no, there's also the issue of the private cars. Private cars also will be allowed to move on the 26th. Don't start moving tomorrow. Let's first prepare. Even you yourselves prepare. Make sure that you have everything. You have the masks especially, so that when you start moving on the 26th, you have everything you required. Now, for the border districts, we shall allow neither the public transport nor the private ones. Let those districts remain the way they have been as of now. What is the reason? The reason is that you are on the front line. You are the one who can either help save us or destroy us by allowing infiltration from the neighboring countries. But you cannot protect us if we bring in the confusion of vehicles, whether public or private, because then it is even very difficult for the LOCs to check. You hear vehicles moving at night. Where is it going? You cannot get out of your houses to mount roadblocks. People are sleeping. They hear vehicles moving. You don't know where it has stopped, whom it has dropped, whom it has picked. No. Let it remain quiet the way it has been. No vehicles, public or private, in those border districts, until we see how the whole thing works out here in the center. But when it comes to the students who will have to come back and join the other finalists, because we have said that the finalists, if they are the local finalists, the primary schools, those will walk to their schools. Those don't have a problem. The finalists of the border districts, they would just walk like the others. Walk to school and go back to their homes. Even some of the secondary schools are day schools. They are local. They can also walk and go back. But there are those who may be going to other areas. This way the Ministry of Education and the government may have to work out special plans to arrange transport for these children to go from the border districts to where they are required in the center of the country. These are the 4 points that I think needed clarification so that people know what will start when. I thank you and I wish you good luck. Now, for today, I've been told to read the contributions. Oh, they are here? Oh, very good. Oh, the first on top is a man called Yoweri Museveni, who contributed half of the remnants of his salary, which is 1.4 million shillings. Because this president of yours from 1996 gets a salary of 3.6 million, I refused to. The public service tried to convince me to be like other presidents. I hear that other presidents get a lot of money, but I said no. Uganda is a poor country. I don't want to be part of that. Even this 3.6 million I accepted in 1996 after the elections, because some people took a certain line which I accepted. But later on, people did other things. But before that, the president was getting 150,000 shillings between 1986 and 1996. This really, because these countries, especially Uganda, which had had a lot of problems, it's not correct for the public servants to put their country on pressure for higher and higher salaries when there are so many primary demands that need to be handled. So that's why I refused the idea of big salaries for the president. So the 3.6 million each month, the NRM takes 700,000, which is 20% of that 3.6, and that leaves, I think, 2.7. So when I made 50% of that, this is the 1.4. So Mama Janet will not see this little money for 6 months. The Rotary District, 900 and 9,211 for Uganda and Tanzania. They contributed 800 million worth of medical equipment. Tienga Adora, a cultural institution, those are the Wadama, the Japadora. They contributed 37 million worth of food and 2.5 million shillings worth of medical equipment. His Highness Mzee Yosam Odur, the paramount chief of Ulango, contributed 10 million shillings and 5 tons of maize flour. Huawei Technologies is a big Chinese company. They contributed video conferencing equipment donated to State House. So that State House can video conference. Airtel, so maybe I also donated to the Prime Minister's office, to the task force. What Huawei gave me, I give you. Very good. Airtel, 1.2 billion shillings. Afrixim Bank, 760 million shillings. Uganda Bati Limited, 100 million shillings. General Eritumine, 22 million shillings. General Katumba, 20 million shillings. General Ivan Koreta, 22 million shillings. Honorable General Pekos Kutesa, 20 million shillings. Honorable Brigadier General Francis Tachirwa, 20 million. Honorable Brigadier Felix Koraije, 20 million shillings. Honorable Brigadier General Flavia Biakwaso, 20 million shillings. Honorable Major Every Nasimwe, 20 million shillings. Honorable Major General Innocent Oula, 20 million shillings. Honorable Major Susan Lacote Oruni, 20 million shillings. Honorable Francis Nachwala Chingi, 20 million shillings. Honorable Beatrice Sanyuar, 1 million shillings. Honorable Safia Narule Juko, 20 million shillings. Honorable Sengo Emmanuel Karure, my MP of Gomba, 20 million shillings. Equity Bank Uganda Limited, 2 Toyota Hilux double cabins. Staff of Equity Bank, 100 million shillings worth of personal protection equipment. Madvan Group Kakera Sugar, 2 double cabin pickups. Retired Brigadier General John Mujenyi, 1 Isuzu double cabin. Yoshino Trading Limited, 1 Land Cruiser. Keiso Kugiken Company, 1 Land Cruiser. Karpataru Power Transmission, 1 Tata single cabin pickup. Kawachom Uganda Limited, 1 Tata double cabin pickup. Indian Business Forum, 1 pickup. Indian Association of Uganda, 1 pickup. Afrisel Uganda, 3 vehicles. assortment of foodstuffs and call center worth 157 million shillings. Kwagarana Group, 1 Tata double cabin. Dot Services, 20 trucks loaned for the pandemic. That means you use them. You use them, then you take them back. Very good, because that saves you from hiring. Nile Fishing Company, a boat, 2 motorcycles, and hand washing equipment worth 210 million shillings. Tax Corporation and Development Agency, 100 bicycles worth 50 million shillings. Centenary Bank, 90 million shillings of PPE, personal protection equipment. No, 90 million shillings of PPE, 100 million shillings of PPE to 17 hospitals, 10 million shillings through Uganda Bankers Association. Citibank Uganda donated a fully equipped theater at Kajan's Health Center worth 270 million shillings. Shri Kachileva Patel Samaji and Shri Kach and Sutsang Swaminarayan Temple, 125 million shillings worth of assorted food items and medical equipment. Institute of Certified Public Accountants of Uganda, 38 million shillings. Mwalimu Nyerere Leadership Center, 1 million shillings. United Somali Community, 14.5 million shillings. South Sudanese Women Fellowship, 2.5 million shillings. Shukran, South Sudanese. Registered trustees of Patidar Samaj Kampala, 25 million shillings worth of foodstuffs and medical equipment. Churhura farmers, 60 million shillings worth of powdered milk. Archdiocese of Mbarara Development Association, 6 million shillings. Mbarara Ecclesiastical Province Residents Association, 5 million shillings. Bishop Johnson Tunumjuni, 5 tons of maize flour. The Kakande Ministries, 40 million shillings. National Fellowship of Born Again Pentecostal Churches, 1,500 PPEs, 500 respiratory kits, and 4,200 N95 masks, all worth 3.1 billion shillings. Humanity First Uganda, Ahmadiyya Muslim Association, 1 ton maize flour, 500 piece sanitizers, 2,000 pieces of masks, 60 jerrycans of liquid soap. Abusa Bank, 100 million shillings worth of isolation ward AP tents. Vambeko Enterprises Construction Company, 52 million shillings. Ibero, Uganda, 50 million shillings. Invictus Africa, 50 million shillings. Hunan Road and Bridge Contractor Group, 50 million shillings worth of medical equipment. Bayport Financial Service, 38 million shillings. Guangzhou Dongsong Energy Group, 38 million shillings and 5,000 masks. Uganda Hotel Owners Association, 30 million shillings. Kampala Associated Advocates, 30 million shillings. ASA Microfinance, 30 million shillings. Education Service Commission, Health Service Commission, and Public Service Commission, 25 million shillings. Best Ingredients Africa Limited, 20 million shillings. Staff of Uganda National Bureau of Standards, 21 million shillings. Association of Secondary Schools Head Teachers, 23.5 million shillings. Ntunga Modere Farmers Cooperative Union, 22.5 million shillings. Louis Dreyfus Company, 20 million shillings. COVID-19 Fund Committee, 16 million shillings. UNI Engineers Company, 15 million shillings. Electoral Commission, 15 million shillings. Judicial Officers, 12 million shillings. National Secretariat of Patriotism Coordinators and Staff, 12.2 million shillings. Redco Developers and Redco Company, 10 million shillings. Mukama Nayamba Health Products, 10 million shillings. Multiplex, 10 million shillings and 4 tons of maize flour. Noble Unit Uganda Arua, 10 million shillings. Jan Japan Automotors, 20 vehicles loaned for the pandemic. Kampala International Christian Center, 10 million shillings. Fresh Patch Limited, 10 million shillings. MK Publishers Limited, 10 million shillings and sanitary items. Harshedra Taka, Sweden, 10 million shillings. City Abattoir Traders Development Association, 10 million shillings. Besmark Coffee, 5 million shillings. The Vice Chancellor and Makerere University staff, 4,000 liters of sanitizers. Masaka Business Community, 54.5 million shillings worth of foodstuffs. Mepan Technical Services, 51 million shillings worth of maize flour. Water and Environment Sector Partners, 49 million shillings and assorted foodstuffs and medical equipment. Lechiego, Uganda, 38 million shillings worth of foodstuffs and sanitizers. Africa Oil Uganda Limited, 25 million shillings worth of milk. Nairo Energy Limited, gas petrol station, 15.5 million shillings worth of fuel and 4 tons maize flour. Chidawarime Bakery, 12.5 tons of maize flour. KK Group Companies, 400 mattresses, 10 tons of maize flour. United Nations Capital Development Fund, 15 boxes of surgical masks, 50 boxes of gloves, 100 bottles of hand sanitizers, and 200 face shields worth 10 million shillings. Staff of Electricity Regulatory Authority, 4.2 tons of maize flour. BAM Petroleum, 5 million shillings. Sipapa, 5 heifers and food items worth 52 million shillings. Kingdom Media, 388 million shillings worth airtime on Kingdom Media. Rubaya Cooperative Savings and Credit Society, 5 million shillings. Reco Industries, 10 million tons maize flour. Dr. Mutesi Farida, USA, 3.8 million shillings. Nyanza Patch Group, 5 million shillings. Action Africa Head, 5 million shillings. Luero Social Club, 5 million shillings. Mbara Stores Limited, 5 million shillings. The family of Nicholas and Rosette Viangoma, 5 million shillings. BAM Petroleum, 5 million shillings. Environmental Health Workers Associations of Uganda, 4 million shillings. Joseph Brown, 3.8 million shillings. Pulida Ministry Uganda, 3.5 million shillings. The Redeemed Christian Church of God Uganda, 3.2 million shillings. Estefanos and Family Company, 3 million shillings. Desta General Trading, 3 million shillings. Shewa Imports and Exports, 3 million shillings. Charhama Memorial Foundation, 2.5 million shillings. Architect Stanley and Professor Deborah Murumba, 2 million shillings. This is the Murumba I started with that Ntari. Special Presidential Advisor Jennifer, full figure, our daughter, 1 million shillings. Whoever I know full figure, I'm going to be one. Architect Grace Jinja. Acting in Ateso means cow. Akiten. The Haifa. So this girl is called Acting Grace. 2 million shillings. Beer hardware worth 2 million shillings. Not now East Africa. SMC Limited, 2 million shillings. Hopeland Transstar Company, 3 million shillings. Rainbow Apartments, 3 million shillings. Nazarene Family Market, 2 million shillings. Dolce Vita General Merchandise, 2 million shillings. IBM Global, 2 million shillings. Premier Hotels Yumbe, 2 million shillings. Ariba Clement, 2 million shillings. Mopalia Foundation, 1.5 million shillings. Dr. Isaiah Tumwichirizen, I think. Tumwichinze. Oh. Dr. Isaiah Tumwichinze. That must be Chifumbela name. 1.5 million shillings. Uganda Dental Officers and Technologies Association, gloves worth 1.5 million shillings. Birungi Mary, 1.5 million shillings. Ugandans on Twitter, 1.3 million. Okay. Maleka Mia, NRM chairperson, Boston, 1 million shillings. Leonard Rutaro, 1 million shillings. The Point Consultants, 1 million shillings. Restaurant Africa Limited, 1 million shillings. Bosch Gustavo Orach Rujwe, 1 million shillings. Coffee World Limited, 1 million shillings. Bishop Elwana Stefano, 100,000 shillings. DFCU, 80 cartons of bar soap, 2,500 liters of liquid detergent, 1,000 packs of 2,000 milligram metronidazole, and 960 packs of fluoric acid worth 786 million shillings. Dembe Group Imperial Hotels, solar lighting worth 380 million shillings. American Tower Corporation, test kits worth 345 million shillings. Sogea Satam, 29 10,000-liter water tanks and installation in partnership with National Water and Sewerage Corporation, worth 100 million shillings. Asahi Eito Tsubasa Bizex, 1,000 pieces of face masks, worth 65 million shillings. Uganda Communications Commission, 5,000 pieces of masks, 10,000 pairs of gloves, 252 pieces of coveralls, worth 60 million shillings. Africa Queen number 1 million shillings. Path medical items worth 27.7 million shillings. and 152 Chagaranyi Coffee, who gave sanitizers 1,000 liters worth 20 million shillings. I thank you so much. All your donations are intact because I told the committee not to touch anything. I will meet them maybe next week, and then we decide how to use that money. I think some of the vehicles which had been given, we were able to send them to the districts. The ones we deployed at Kololo. So next time when I come, I have to read for the public where those vehicles went, which districts they went to, which institution they went to. So I thank you very much, and I wish you good luck.
The Ministry of Education and